Okay, so today we are going to be making my original recipe of a vegan pig in a blanket. So for our recipe, we will definitely need, I grabbed croissant rolls. Considering the quarantine that we have, this was available. It does not have any milk or dairy products or eggs in it, so I was able to snatch this. I do have a brand I usually go to. I think it's Ann or Annie's. It's organic biscuits, and it usually as well doesn't have any eggs or milk in it, but thankfully this one did not either. We will need field roll sausage. I like this breakfast meat. There are a few other ones that I can suggest, but I usually use this as a go-to for my pig in a blanket. Any type of peppers to your preference, but I like the mini and I like the mix as far as color. So red, orange, and yellow. You also need some salsa. You can either make homemade, but I already had some pre-made salsa, so we're gonna need some salsa. And then also any form of cheese that you like. This is actually one that I've been utilizing a lot lately. Normally I would get this brand or either Simply Delicious when it comes to any type of cheddar sheds, but this one has really been holding the fort down when it comes to the dairy-free cheddar. I love Follow My Heart. I use a lot of their condiments when it comes to mayos and butter and stuff like that. So when I found their cheese, A1. Here's a little example how I pre-mashed the meat. If you can see, you just kind of take a fork. I mean, they're really soft. So you just kind of take a fork, kind of go at it just to give it that crumble. I mean, if you want to keep it whole, if you want to dice it, but I just like the kind of the ground texture to it, so to speak. You could, if you wanted to. I mean, why? Some people might think, well, why are you getting sausages if you're just going to ground it? You can buy a crumble and use that instead. I just like the fact that this is a maple sausage and I wanted that same flavor for, of course, my breakfast pig in a blanket. But it's all up to you guys. However you want to tweak this recipe. This, again, is just my own personal recipe that I've remade this thing many times before and tested out a few different theories as far as how I like it to come out when it comes to flavor and the meat and the different things that I add to it. So you just go ahead and take your fork and ground up. It is your choice as far as how many sausages you want to use. Oh, I don't know if you guys can see. It is your choice as far as how many sausages you would like to use. This is 4 sausages. The packages of sausages, I think there's 12 in their total. It's your prerogative. If you want to use less, it's up to you. But I've come to find out that we're going to make 8 rolls. 4 usually does well because I'm using so many other ingredients, not just the meat. But now I will say, for this whole thing, I don't use any seasoning. Seasoning is a really big thing in a lot of the vegan meals that I make, and if you're a true vegan, you know that a lot of things that we use really don't have a flavor until you create that flavor palette for it. So with this, between the meat being maple and the salsa and the peppers and everything that I mix together, there's really no need for any seasoning. You're more than welcome to add any salt, pepper, or whatever you'd like, but I personally don't need anything. So I like that too as well. So there we go. So it's all ground up. Nothing perfect, but it just has that little crumbly texture to it. I've come to realize, I've made this recipe so many times that I've discovered that I don't like my peppers to be raw. That's inside of the pig in a blanket. Of course, once you cook it, it does cook the pepper a little bit, but I like to kind of pan sear my peppers a little bit before I add it to the biscuit mixture. So this is what I'm gonna do. I just added a few peppers to the pan. And I'm just gonna let that kind of sear off for a little bit. Nothing fancy here. Just give it a little heat. A little crisp to it, so to speak. I might have put too much oil. I'm not trying to fry the peppers, but hey, what will be, will be. What they say, que sera, sera. Hopefully I'm saying that right, correctly. Okay guys, so make sure you preheat your oven to the desired degree of the biscuit. Whatever it suggests, make sure you follow that same degree on the oven. So now we're going to go ahead and assemble. This is the easiest part. This is really a quick recipe. And now it's time to assemble and throw it all into the croissant roll. So I have my peppers that I've cooked off. We have our meat that we broke down. We're going to add that to the big mixing bowl. Make sure you get everything. I have my cheese. This is, I guess you could say that's what, maybe a 1/4. I'll measure that off. And again, if you want more peppers, more meat, more cheese, it's your prerogative. I would definitely suggest you add it. You can kind of see, I see I have a lot more meat than I do with everything else, but that's totally fine. We're gonna have a meat eater's pig in a blanket today. And then as far as your salsa, you just eyeball it. I think I'm gonna put maybe 2 teaspoons. Is this considered a teaspoon? Maybe 2 teaspoons. And again, I don't use a lot of seasoning. I think I put a little bit of salt and pepper in with the peppers when I was cooking it. But between the salsa, whether you make it homemade or pre-made, there's already so many flavors between the salsa and the maple sausage or whatever meat you decide to use, so on and so forth. So not necessary for any other seasoning, but it's your preference. This is just mine. So far I've mixed together. I have the peppers, I have the cheese, I have the salsa, and I have the sausages. All right, so now here's the fun part. I never know which is supposed to be the top of the parchment, so I guess maybe I can read it, so that's good. All right. Honestly, even as an adult, I never like opening these little things. I don't like popping balloons. I don't like busting biscuits. Anywho, so definitely suggest you use parchment paper. I honestly did not discover parchment paper until probably right at my vegan transition. Didn't know anything about it, but I absolutely love it. It makes it so easy to work with anything. It really doesn't have anything that sticks to it. Oh, I said that, and there it goes, sticking to it. All right, 8 biscuits. Let's put some on the side. So you kind of unroll your biscuits. They've been sitting out for a minute while I talk to you guys. So you unroll your biscuits. Work with 1 biscuit at a time. So let's kind of detach these, but I want them ready so when I move over to the next one. Okay. Ready. Now, through trial and error, this little surface is so small and they puff up. Of course, they're croissants. They puff up to so big of a biscuit. It's hard to really pound on a lot of ingredients when it's this size. So my trick I use a little rolling pin. I thought I had a little rolling pin. I use a little rolling pin to kind of roll it out to give me more surface space to make it easier to fill the items in. So I have a little garbanzo bean flour here. I'm just gonna toss that on the side here, kind of put it on my roller so that it doesn't stick to the biscuit, because it'll be quick to stick onto the biscuit. Okay, just kind of graze it a little bit, just so it doesn't stick on there. Okay, that's when I kind of just roll it out, just to give me more surface space. The more surface space you have, of course, the more you can stuff it and get its little filling. I mean, with these little croissants, every croissant, they're always shaped like this. I guess I've never tried biscuits. I guess you could try biscuits, but again, it's the same thing. Biscuits, they're round. I would just roll them out to give you more surface space. Okay, so now we have that. Just take your filling. You don't need a lot. I mean, these are little pigs in a blanket. What do you usually see? Like a little sausage that's in a blanket. So you just need just a little bit. And you see, that's why I made so much. We're gonna make 8. You just have to kind of eyeball it. That's good enough. And then there's no particular way to wrap it. I just try to wrap it enough to where none of the stuffing or none of the filling is falling out. So they're not gonna be the little pretty croissants that you see on the commercials, but they're definitely gonna taste delicious. So that. I kind of like wrap it around so that it does enclose whatever I stuffed it with. Bam, got one. You have all of your biscuits and pigs ready in their blanket. Follow the cooking instructions based off the biscuit container. Make sure you don't throw that away like I did. Okay. So it just simply says bake for 9 to 12 minutes or until golden brown. Now I hate a boring biscuit, so I actually added, let me take you guys with me. I hate a boring biscuit, so I actually added a little bit of my little butter herb concoction. If you would like the recipe for that, drop a comment in the comment section and I'll toss that to you guys. So I've already buttered my little biscuits and I'm going to toss them in for 9 to 12 minutes. I usually flip them halfway so that it can get an even cook on both sides of the croissant, so to speak. All right, I'll see you guys in 9 to 12 minutes. Okay guys, so it's been in for about 6 minutes, so I'm just taking the time to flip each one, and then I'm going to put it back in for 6 minutes. They're nice and golden brown. The recipe suggests from 9 to 12 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and cook them the full 12 because I know they're pretty stuffed. I want to make sure, ooh, that one's not as brown. Make sure I keep them in there. This is golden, but I like mine to be a little more melanated, so to speak. So I'm probably gonna keep them in there for a little bit longer than the 6 minutes so that they can cook through. All right, see you in a little bit. All right, guys, and after, 9 to 12 minutes, you have your beautiful, yummy, tasty pig in the blankets, full with cheese, sausage, field relish. That's delicious. You want to see that? Incredible. Look how cheesy and delicious that is. Can't beat that pig. That PigLESS blanket. PigLESS in the blanket. There we go. Y'all enjoy. Leave a comment. Make sure you subscribe, post, share with everyone. Any questions? Leave it all in the comment. Talk to me, guys. Let me know what you like. Bye.